something that really annoys me? This.
Those that can't do, teach.
Now, I'm aware that comments like this have been proven wrong. I just would like to add my 2 cents on why it annoys me. So I know that if you're a teacher and you heard anybody say anything like this, it would probably make you really mad too. I guess the reason this statement annoys me so much is it's completely false. So you might be wondering, if you're not a teacher, well, what in the world do teachers do? I'm gonna tell you all about it. We're wasting time. Hi, I'm Allie Mack, and I'm a teacher. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, please subscribe and like, and if you find this video helpful or informative, please share it with someone you know. So the quote originally goes like this: "He who can does, he who cannot teaches." And this is from a play by Bernard Shaw. The title of the play is Man and Superman, and I will link it down in the description if you'd like to read it. It actually seems like a pretty good read. However, this quote annoys me because I'm a teacher, and I think it would annoy every teacher. So I'm going to answer the question, what do teachers do? Now, I'm a middle school teacher, and my story would be different from a high school teacher or an elementary teacher, but keep in mind, even though our students are different, our workload might be different, but how much work we do is all the same. How much caring we do is all the same. It's all the same, just in a different place. Keep in mind, mine is one story, but teachers of all grades endure the same amount of workload, but in different ways. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to describe to you what a typical day for me is like, and then I'm going to tell you all about the events and things that I must attend throughout the week. I clock into work around 7:15. I'm required to be there at 7:20 p.m. But keep in mind, I'm not a morning person for one, and there are teachers that get to school right when the doors open, which I think is like 6:30 or something. I don't know, because I'm never there because I'm not a morning person. Anyways, so some of my colleagues get there much earlier. I get there at 7:15. Now, when I get to my room, I usually pull up the flip chart that I am going to be showing to my students that day. I also pull up my online gradebook, and I also pull up my school email. So I'm required to be at work at 7:20. I have to be at my door at 7:25 greeting my students. And I greet them and I tell them to go to the restroom. I tell them to get their stuff out. I try to just give them reminders to get going. So whenever it's time to start working, gosh, I feel like I messed it up. But when I start working, when we start working, they'll be ready and I won't have to wait for them to get out supplies. So at 7:50, it is show time. This is when I start teaching my first period class. And I continue to teach first, second, and third period. So around 10:48 is when I am on my planning period, fourth period, which I have the best planning period. I'm not gonna have it this coming up year, but it was fourth period. It's the lunch period. So basically I get an extra 30 minutes of planning time. Sometimes I eat, sometimes I don't eat. But at 10:48, I'm usually tidying up my room to get it ready for my next class. I'll go to the Coke machine, get some energy, get some caffeine, maybe I'll make some coffee. Sometimes I eat, sometimes I don't. Sometimes during this time, I have IEP meetings or TST meetings to attend because they need the general ed teacher, in which that's me. So sometimes I do that. Sometimes I have kids come to my room for lunch detention. So some of them hate that, and some of them come and they eat with me and then they don't want to go away. But either way, so lunch detention sometimes, and sometimes I don't have anything on my schedule and I get to actually use it for what it is for, planning. I use this time to plan for the next week or the week after. I always try to stay at least 1 week ahead of the game. So anyone that's seen how I write lesson plans, you can check that out. I'll put a link up above. But anyone who's seen how I do my lesson plans or my my PowerPoints knows that I put a lot into them. So I use this time to work on those as well. I also create activities for students. I also spend a lot of time in the copy room. I use this time to grade papers a lot of times, but usually even on the days that I do eat, I'm still like typing and eating at the same time. So usually I don't stop. And this is key if you want to try to not take any of your work home. The first 8 years, Yeah, the first 8 years that I was a teacher, I would literally come home and get back on the computer and do work and eat with my laptop in my lap and then go to bed. And then the next day I'd do it all over again. And on the weekends I would stay on the laptop working. But when I decided to quit being so extra, I quit bringing work home. So that does help. Sometimes during this time, I collaborate with my inclusion teacher, that is the special education teacher, and we talk about strategies that we can use. Sometimes we plan activities for the following week. And if I'm not collaborating with this teacher, sometimes I'll talk to the other teachers that are off at this time, which at my school, it was all the math teachers. So I would do that. Sometimes we would have department meetings during this time. I also use this time to call parents a good bit of time. So this time for me, I'm not just sitting there. It is relaxing though. I find my work relaxing when children are not around. When they're around, I'm like a nervous wreck all the time, it seems, because I want everything to be perfect for them. But during this time, I'm relaxed, but I'm constantly working on something so I don't have to take so much home. So if you figure, pretend I had a full week with nothing, no meetings planned during my fourth period, an hour and a half times 5, that's 5, 6, 7.5 hours that I don't have to spend at home. So that's good. Sometimes this doesn't work out as planned because administrators will sometimes have tasks for us to do that they need ASAP, whether it be reports from our iReady data, we need to fill out information about how students did on their last assessment. So obviously the stuff for the boss comes first. But anyway, so this time for me is full. I never just relax and just sit. I'm always working. Now at 12:08, I start teaching my fifth period class. And then I continue teaching until 3 o'clock. I teach 5th, 6th, and 7th period, and then the kids relax at 3 while they wait for their bus to be called while I'm running around the room like a maniac.
I'm changing the date on the board, I'm changing the focus question on the board, I'm straightening desks again, I'm cleaning them if they need it, I'm setting out the bell ringers, I'm setting up the activities.
So all I have to do the following day is walk in, turn the lights on, pull up my PowerPoints, and teach. I also use this time to finish up grading my exit tickets, and then I make a note of the haves and the have-nots. So I make a note of basically the children that did not understand my lesson for the day. That way I can sit and I can target them the following day to make sure they get closer to understanding, if not fully understanding that skill. And usually I'm done with all these things by 3:30. Like I said, I'm running around like a mad woman. Now, usually I'm allowed to leave at 3:30. But if I have a parent-teacher conference after school or a TST meeting after school or an IEP meeting after school, obviously I have to stay for those and I have to stay until they're finished. Now, if I do get to leave at 3:30, when I come home, I usually just get to relax because I've worked my butt off all day, so I didn't have to bring any work home and I could spend this time with my family and my kitties. The only exception to this, if say I get to talking to a colleague and I end up running my mouth too much and don't get to work as much, I will have that to do. Or if say one of my administrators has asked me to do something for them, obviously I will have to work on that because whenever my boss tells me to do something, I want to get it back to them as soon as possible. I sometimes call parents when I get home. This allows me to be in a relaxing environment, and I usually call them if something is real strong on my mind about their child. So I'll use this time to call, but I usually do not call parents after 7 o'clock because I don't like to be called after 7. That's my time with my family. So if you are a brand new teacher, one thing you can take away from this so far is during your planning time,
actually plan and work your behind off.
In my first 9 years of teaching, I usually would go find someone to chat with, or I would talk or vent to somebody because I was stressed about this or that. If you use your planning time to actually work and you are working hard and fast, you won't have as much to bring home. And listen, if it takes over your life, you just get to where all you do is work and sleep, and that's it. And that's a miserable place. And I feel like my sanity is worth more than that. I don't live to work, I work to live. Does that make sense? I think you know what I am. So I just described to you a typical day. Let's talk about a typical week. So Mondays and Fridays, we usually don't have anything on the schedule for us to attend. Now, if you are a parent and you really don't like a teacher, schedule a conference Friday after school. That will make them mad and that will get to them. So there's a tip for you if you want to get back at a teacher. I probably shouldn't tell you that. So Mondays and Fridays are usually free during planning and after school. Tuesdays, we have a faculty meeting every Tuesday, and it starts at 3:15 and it ends till whenever. They've lasted as long as 5 o'clock, but usually they're over by 4 or 4:15. This last year, I had my drama club on Wednesdays. By the way, I love drama club. Let me tell you about it just super quick. Drama club, we don't do plays, we do movies. Because I've noticed that our school, like, we'll have a really shy person. They won't want to just get up in front of people and do this live. But if you do it in front of camera and you can redo it until they like it, gradually you see them come out of their shell. And I love it. And the kids that are in my drama club, they are my babies. I will do anything for them. So anyway, Wednesdays is drama club and it ends at 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock, but I don't usually get to leave at 5. There's usually a few stragglers that don't get picked up until a little after that. I know one time I was at the school till 6, but I mean, the mom had a car something issue and she couldn't get there, so I have to wait with the child. And so I just played on my phone till she got there. I also would hold tutorial during this time. So while my drama kids were practicing on something, I would be tutoring on Wednesdays. I'd be tutoring them till 4, and I would do whatever it is. I'd let anyone come. That way, if a child did not pass my class, I could say, well, look, my tutoring was for anybody. And they could come and they could get extra help. And usually the kids in my tutorial never failed because they got that extra little bump they needed to go on up and not fail. So after they left, I'd then work with my drama kids, and we would start filming. Now on Thursdays, I am part of the ATSI Improvement Plan Committee. So we would usually have meetings every other week, and we would basically talk about what we could do to make our school an A. Also, I meant to tell you that on Wednesdays, we have department meetings. So all the math teachers meet in our department chairs room, and we discuss new strategies and we discuss data. Now, if you're a middle school teacher, you know that a lot of your students participate in different types of activities, such as volleyball, basketball, football, any kind of little activity like that. So a lot of times they have practices and then they have performances, like band and the strings, they have performances, and it is very good to attend these things. You should know this. This is like Teacher 101. Attend your students' activities and make sure they see you there. It means so much to them for them to know that you came out and supported them. So that's a typical week. It's pretty much nonstop until I get home. So going back to those who can do, those who can't teach, teachers do a lot. We do a lot. And I know this has been established, and the more I'm in this profession, the more when I tell people what I do, they are all very respectful. I could never do that job, blah, 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 blah. So I really feel like this is not even an issue. I just really wanted to talk about it. And I'm gonna share with you some of the things that teachers do. I might speed it up a bit because this could take a while.
Teach amazing children, which includes breaking concepts down into smaller pieces so they can understand them, researching different strategies for numerous standards, accommodating different learning styles, grading papers, providing feedback, writing lesson plans that accommodate all learners, including the ones with disabilities, write assessments, create worksheets, create engaging activities, create PowerPoints, collaborate with other staff members, confiscate snacks, that's my favorite one, talk to parents, keep current records like documentation and grades, participate in a variety of professional development, attend a variety of meetings, analyze student data, and plan accordingly. Provide interventions.
I could keep doing this, but I think you get the point, right? Here are some different roles that teachers play.
Counselor, mentor, peacemaker, motivational speaker, maid, babysitter, developer, nurse, entertainer, detective, actress, social worker, cheerleader, and role model.
So now that you have an idea of what teachers do, let's ignore Bernard Shaw's saying, those who can do, those who can't teach. And let's replace it with Charles J. Mertz's quote, those who teach show those who can't how to. What do you think? I like that much better. How about you? So if you are a teacher and you found this video informative or you liked it, please leave a comment below telling me what is your favorite role to play as a teacher. And if you are a brand new teacher, please comment below which role you look forward to playing.
I know I look forward to being an actress.
Is that how it does? No, whatever, ignore that last part. But tell me which role you look forward to playing. Don't forget to visit my website. It is hotforteaching.weebly.com. I'll link that in the description below, but you can go there to get a gift. You can get all these free resources. Why not go? Go, it's free. If you liked this video, please like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. I really appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Have an amazing day.